think I'll ask to get the next briefing as a telegram. Between the bomb and Williams turning half the base into killing machines by injecting them with his own blood, it's been a hell of a morning. Now that things are under control, Henry finally got his quality time with the sample we found. What looks like fluid is actually all worms, from microscopic in size to the ones large enough to be seen swimming around. They grow like crazy once introduced to the bloodstream, influencing the host's mind in a matter of seconds if there are enough of them. Henry injected us with something he says will kill any worms that we're exposed to during the fight, but that it only works before they've had time to really set up shop in your body, which takes several hours. The thought of these things burrowing around in my guts is one more memory for the nightmare pile that's already too big. At least the briefing wasn't a complete loss. The samples in the case we found were tagged with the location of where they were collected. It's time for a road trip. Seemed like a nice place when we arrived. Sun was out, folks were going about their business, and for once, no dead bodies in sight. It was all crap, of course. As soon as they caught sight of us, things went to hell. Everybody in this place appears to be infected. Same glassy eyes, jumpy movements, and a real fondness for knives. A few look like the worms inside them have had time to mature, some of them getting so large they're erupting from the victims' mouths. We managed to get out of sight for a few minutes and come up with a plan. Don whipped up some of his favorite incendiary charges and gave one to each of us. This place seemed to be ground zero for the infestation, so we're gonna have to sterilize it. But not before doing a sweep to make sure we're not leaving anyone who hasn't been infected to burn. Henry needs to examine the source of the worms before we light the place up, so we'll need to tackle that at the same time, while trying not to get carved up by the locals, or in other words, just another workday.
Hi and welcome back to the table, and it's probably the last time we'll be at this particular table because I will be moving in the next week or so. So if you've watched the last video I did, you'll see that I did a revisit to the last scenario, which was betrayal, and I managed to win. So we're now moving on to the next one, which is Nursery. Now for this one, I've got the map set up already. I'll spawn the monsters in a moment. We enter over here, we're using the same characters as before, and our exit is over here. Now, in this scenario, this mission, if you like, we've got 3 objectives. The first 2 are pretty self-explanatory. We've got to find the source of the worms, which means we have to get 2 objective tokens for that. So there'll be 2 cards in the recon deck, which will apply to this objective. So that one's fairly self-explanatory. Second one, there's 1 card in the recon deck for this one, investigate the church bells. Both of these actually flip the lucky coin back again, if it's down. And this one leaves a little bit more explanation, purge the town. We've been ordered to decontaminate the town. I've never seen Don so happy. He's given everyone incendiary devices, which are these things here. We've got 4 of those. As though they were Christmas presents. As an action, the hero may detonate an incendiary device by placing a fire token in their sector. Once they do, another fire token is placed in a sector which does not already have one each time a new twist is drawn. Any hero in a burning sector suffers a Strength 1 brawl attack at the start of their turn. Set fire to all 4 sectors to complete this objective. As you can see, this one actually doesn't flip the lucky coin face up if it's face down. Okay, what does that mean? Well, basically what it means is that we have these 4 tokens, and as an action we can place it in our space in a sector. Now there's a balance with doing this, because we could do this immediately, but then every time we're in, well, I say immediately, every time we enter the sector we could drop a fire token in there. However, that means if we're staying in that sector, we're going to take a a 1 die brawl damage attack at the start of our turn. So what we need to do, and I've played this one a couple of times, only won it once, never won it solo, is try and get the other 2 objectives done first, And then, well, basically, as we're leaving an area that we've already searched, maybe we can drop one in there. But we've got to remember, every time a twist card is drawn, then the next one, or one adjacent, will get set fire to. So, like I said, there's a balance there between setting fire to them too early and leaving it too late, where we've actually got to get back and do all four if we've got the other two objectives sorted. So, anyway, that's that bit sorted, and that's that explained, so we know what's going on. As usual, you know the drill. I've already shuffled up the twist cards. I've gave the recon deck a really good shuffle, and I've given the player cards a really good shuffle. And we've now got 2 focus cards for each character. So I won't go into detail of what they are, but there they are. That's Abe's. And that is for Frank. And that one is for Don. Now, the leader is a mandatory requirement for the scenario according to the mission guidelines. You can see it there. Required hero roles leader. Okay. Now we've also added some advanced cards to our deck. 1 set of advanced cards. I won't tell you what they are. They'll come as a surprise when you see them. But that's what I've done. So, first thing I think we'll do is we will spawn the monsters, and for this mission we have 2 sets of monsters, 1 of each per hero. So we've got consumed bait bags, you can see all the stats and stuff there, and normal bait bags. And there's my beautifully painted miniatures of those. These ones you're familiar with before, and these are the new ones. Okay, so without any further ado, let's spawn these monsters. So we'll spawn the minions first. The minions are the normal bait bags. So the first one will go on 10. 10 is... What is 10? 10 is here. Remember, with bait bags, if they spawn adjacent to our heroes, they automatically move in there. And 10 again. I think Mrs. Storm is correct about this this die. Doesn't seem to be particularly random. And 6 is in this building here. And now we'll spawn the elites. We've got 5. He's here. We've got 8, which is here. And we've got 5 again, which is here. Now, we're already familiar with the normal bait bags, so we'll just go through the consumed bait bags. They've got a brawl attack of, they've got hit points of 6, but they've got resistance against brawl of 2, bullets of 3, and grenades of 2, so they take quite a bit of damage to kill. They've got a movement of 1, and they do a brawl attack of 3. And their special movement, if you like, is, or their special ability is move. So it'll move again if we roll that on the die, on the activation die. And they've got a special ability which is entangling. Heroes may not flee this monster's location. What a pretty guy he is. So let's draw our cards. First of all, for Abe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what we've got here. We've got let's try and get a bit of glare. So we've got stock strike, we've got center mass, pump action, center mass again, and tight pattern. None of those are tactical responses, so that means they're still in the deck somewhere. Let's put those there, and you can see this is the set of the advanced cards I allocated for Abe, which is a bullet attack with a +2 definite hit. Quite a few bullets there for Abe. Let's move on to Frank. see if we can get that in. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What have we got for Frank? As you know, Frank works best with bullets. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to have a great many of them here. We've got bayonet, grenade launcher, direct hit, hydrostatic shock, and grenade launcher again. Okay, let's put the grenades up the top here. No tactical responses yet again. And we'll put those ones there so we can see what we've got. And lastly, but by no means leastly, we'll move on to Don. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what we've got here. Okay, so we've got grenade toss, haymaker, grenade toss again, high X, and a tactical response, satchel charge. And the tactical response is prepared battlefield, which is kill up to 4 minions and elites anywhere on the battlefield. I mean, we can't play that this turn because you can't play tactical responses on the first turn, but that will come in handy for sure. Let's put that there so we remember we have it. Okay, cards all drawn, we're all ready to go. And let's get to the table for the first turn. Okay, turn 1. You may have noticed I've changed the camera angle from the last videos. I wasn't really over keen on the overhead. It was nice, but I didn't feel like you could really see what was going on because you couldn't see overhead view. You can't really see what the monsters and the people are. Heroes. They're not normal people. So I'm hoping this one, this angle, looking from the side there, is a little bit better. So, let me know. I can always go back to the overhead if it's not working out for you guys. So, as usual, Abe will go first. He is the leader after all. And as an action, what he's going to do is he's going to use his New Orders focus card. As an action, you may allow an ally within range 1 to discard any number of cards and draw the same number of replacements. So what we're going to do, we're going to get Frank to discard 3 cards. And we're going to draw 3 more and hopefully get some bullets. No bullet there. No bullet there. And 1 bullet there, hydrostatic shock. So not exactly what I was looking for, but we'll have to work with that. What can Abe do? He can move. Is it worth him moving? I think Abe will actually... Sorry about that. We will move Abe into here. And he can't do an action because he's already done the action as part of his focus card, so he's not able to attack the consumed bait bag. That brings us on to Frank. Frank is going to... This is not exactly what I wanted to happen, but Frank is going to attack this bait bag here, the consumed bait bag. And as part of his focus ability, he has, when you perform a bullet attack, reduce the target's bullet resistance by 1. Deadeye. So that's what we'll do. We're going to attack this guy here. We need 6. We need 9 to kill him. We can reduce the resistance by 1, so we need 8. So what we're going to do, we're going to play all these bullet cards. No, we're not. We're going to play these 2, which gives us 7 dice. Is there anything else anyone can help us with? Maybe. Let's have a quick look. Anything here? Attack to reduce its attack strength by 1. Play before an ally forms a brawl attack. No, not really. So we're looking at 7 dice. We need 8 hits, and we do get a re-roll. Yeah. Okay, that's what we'll do. Let's shoot on over to the dice tray. So 7 dice. We're looking for 8 bullet hits. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, fantastic. That works for me. So this guy is dead. That's great. And I think Frank will move into here. He'll take both of these guys with him. Why not? And as a free action, we'll flip over this. Oh, crying out loud. We'll flip over this search token there. And let's see what we've got. First search, written in flesh. Your arm itches and burns as if 1,000 ants were attacking it. This sounds familiar. You pull up your sleeve to find words in a strange language cut into your skin. You can't read them, but somehow you know it's a warning. You feel prepared, but for what? Draw a card. See, that sounds like it's a really crap card, and then when you start reading through it, it's actually pretty good. So, draw a card. What do we get? We get a brawl. Has he got any bullets in here or what? So we get a brawl attack. Not what we wanted, but at least it's a card. We'll place that up there. That was difficult terrain, so Frank can't move any further. So we'll move on to Don. Don. What are you going to do? Got a lot of grenades. I think Don is going to move to here, and he is going to throw all these grenades. 2, 3, 4. He's going to throw 4 grenades into this spot here and see if we can kill these. And hope for the best. Now we need 3 hits to be able to kill both of those. Is there anything any of our guys can do to help him? No, there isn't. So let's just shoot on over to the dice tray. Okay, so we've got 4 dice. We're looking for bombs, and we need 3 hits, and we do get a reroll. What do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get 6. That is great. So that means that these 2 guys are dead. I've already discarded Don's cards. He's only got 2 cards left. Don's got 1 movement left. I'm not sure where he could move to. I may have made a bit of a mistake there. What I should have done is brought this guy with Don, but you know, I do enough, what do I call it now? Retroactive tactical deployment. I'm not going to do that now. So that was a mistake. So I think what I will do is just move Don into here so he can do a search next turn and hope for the best. And also it secures that area. So that brings us to the end of the hero phase. So now we're on to the monster or the threat phase. First thing we do, as per normal, move on 1 on the threat track. And the monsters now move. Let's move that over there so you can see what's happening. Ish. Yeah. Okay, so what have we got? We've got 2 elites here. We've got 1 minion here. Let's move the minion first. The only way out of there is through here. Now, you can move diagonally in this game, but I always play that on this particular map, this area here. To me, I don't think you should be able to move diagonally from here to here because that's a wall. So I don't know if that's correct or not, but I always play heroes and monsters. They can't just move from here to here. They have to move this way. I could be right, I could be wrong, but that's the way I'm going to play it, and I'm going to be consistent in that. So this one will move 1, and then he'll move 2. Let's see how far he moves. So activation die, he'll move 1 more space. So he'll move out into here. And he'll be coming straight for this way. These guys, they only move 1 space. So the quickest way, I think, is 1, 2, 3, yeah, there's that way. So they'll move 1. Moves 1 additional, so I think probably into there. This guy will move to there. And he will do his special ability, which again is move, so he will move into there also. And that brings us to the end of the first turn. So we haven't got any objectives yet. We're in a position, fairly good position, I think, to get this one next time, and then try and regroup and maybe head. Thinking maybe head this way. Possibly, I don't think we'll drop any fire tokens just yet. I think we'll at least get through 2 sectors before we drop any fire tokens. Okay, so we'll be back for the second round. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, whoa, hold on there, Tex. You've not spawned the creatures after the end of their turn. And you're quite correct. So we will do that now. I mean, we're only not even 1 turn into this thing, and I've already, as we English say, dropped a bollock. So I'll try and not make any more mistakes like that. Okay, let's spawn the elites. Sorry, not the elites. The minions first. The bait bags. So that's. Oh, can you see that? Right, there we go. Let's just so you can see what's happening. So that's a 3. 3 puts him over here. Try and get in the tray. That is a 5. A 5 is here. Now let's try and get this so you can actually see the entire. I'm having a few problems with this tripod, I must admit. And finally, a 10 for the elite. And the 10, what did we say the 10 was? The 10's over here. Ah, man, the 10's in there with the. Oh no, it's secured. Secured. He can't go in there. Of course he can't. So let's try there, and we've got a 12. 12 is over here. Okay, so that is definitely the end of that round, and we will move on to turn 2 any second now.